Veterans are going to test you, right? And if they feel that you've gotten more money or more publicity, they're upset about that.
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
Anyone who follows basketball knows Caitlin Clark is a supernova, rewriting the women's game with every dazzling play. NBA legends, the very pillars of the sport, can't help but be drawn to her brilliance. Her electrifying presence has brought an unprecedented jolt of energy to the WNBA, elevating the league in ways few could have imagined. But here's where it gets even better. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, has broken his silence on the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, offering his take on her future. His words aren't just praise, they're a game changer. During a recent broadcast, Clark found herself back in the spotlight, the camera zeroing in at just the right moment. Walt Clyde Frazier, Knicks legend turned analyst, couldn't resist making a comment. With his trademark blend of humor and nostalgia, he tossed out a playful challenge from an old-school great to a rising star. But what came next caught everyone off guard, sparking a wave of chatter among fans. One thing's certain, Clyde's words were anything but ordinary.
Look at that formidable. I could stop her. Just put a ball in her hand. She is spectacular to watch.
Everyone knew Clyde Frazier was joking, but his playful comment still lit up social media, where fans couldn't resist joining in on the fun. That said, even in jest, Clyde might want to reconsider throwing down a one-on-one challenge to Caitlin Clark these days. Her meteoric rise suggests she could more than hold her own against the Hall of Famer. Not long after, another legend stepped into the conversation. Larry Bird, one of the game's all-time greats, shared his thoughts on Clark. Famous for his measured but meaningful words, Bird offered a remark that made it clear just how impressed he is. It's rare for a young player to earn this level of admiration from a legend of his caliber, and Clark has it. His praise not only connects his own storied history to her thrilling rise, but also signals that she's caught the attention of basketball royalty. Here's what Larry Bird had to say.
I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I was watching.
Larry Bird's comparison says everything about the waves Caitlin Clark is making, not only among fans, but with the very architects of basketball history. For Bird to mention her alongside the games he once watched at Indiana State is no casual compliment. It's proof that Clark's talent and energy have leapt far beyond the boundaries of women's basketball, earning her a place in the larger conversation of the sport itself. From a legend of his stature, this kind of praise is rare, and it speaks to how extraordinary her journey has become. With each performance, she's not simply shifting public perception, she's claiming her space among the greats, laying down her credentials as the future of the game. Some moments in sports rise above rivalry, forcing even the most entrenched competitors to tip their cap. That moment arrived when Shaquille O'Neal, one of basketball's loudest and most respected voices, spoke out about Caitlin Clark. This wasn't an easy applause. Shaq had every reason to stay firmly in Angel Reese's corner. Yet her brilliance on the court, her unshakable composure, and her relentless drive left him no choice but to acknowledge her greatness. His words weren't just kind, they marked a genuine turning point in how the game's giants see her. The respect was unmistakable, and Clark had earned every ounce of it.
Right way. I've seen her on TV, and a lot of times we know that, on TV don't really translate to the court all the time. So I saw it. She makes the right play every time. Not all the time. She makes her teammates better. She shoots the ball. She's a great player.
When Shaquille O'Neal tips his hat to a player, the basketball world listens, and his praise for Caitlin Clark speaks volumes. For a Hall of Famer who spent decades in the heat of the game's fiercest rivalries to openly admire her is no small thing. Shaq didn't just applaud her scoring ability, he recognized her grit, her composure, and her ability to change the conversation around women's basketball. It's rare to see that kind of endorsement, rarer still when it's laced with genuine respect. For Clark, it's another sign she's not just making headlines, she's rewriting the sports narrative. That wasn't the only nod from a towering figure of the game. When Clark missed out on the year's biggest sporting event, it could have been a setback. But Dwight Howard, the three-time Defensive Player of the Year, saw it differently. He called it a hidden advantage, a chance to regroup and return sharper than ever. It sounded optimistic at the time, but looking back, it feels almost prophetic. Clark came back swinging, dominating the court and proving Howard's words weren't just encouragement, they were a spoiler for what was to come.
She is a great player, but it's a lot of players that, no lie, who, as far as basketball wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her. This should make her go harder in the gym. The 3 weeks that they off, she should.
After the Olympic break, Caitlin Clark looked like a completely different player. It's impossible to say exactly how much being left off the roster fueled her fire, but there's no question she found her rhythm again. Missing the trip to Paris, and potentially riding the bench on an already stacked team, may have been the best thing for her. What many saw as a snub or a setback turned out to be a hidden blessing, sparing her from situations that could have stalled her momentum or led to injury. Dwight Howard saw it right away. He recognized that a player of Clark's caliber was perfectly positioned to seize the moment and prove she belonged ahead of those who were chosen. And while big-name analysts often choose their words carefully, some of the most unfiltered takes come from former players without massive media exposure. That's where Jeff Teague enters the conversation. A solid starter for most of his 12-year NBA career, a one-time All-Star, and an NBA champion, Teague was never a marketing darling, and in retirement, is not afraid to speak his mind. He didn't hold back in criticizing the WNBA for the way it handled Clark's arrival, despite her bringing one of the largest fan bases the league has ever seen.
Like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch the shit when y'all leave college. Women's sports, cause y'all hating on the best thing that's gonna happen to the W.
You can call Jeff Teague's delivery raw, but his point is hard to argue with. After years of heated debate over the gender pay gap in sports and countless failed attempts to boost the WNBA's visibility, Caitlin Clark's arrival has finally shifted the momentum. Yet, despite the attention and opportunity she's brought, her welcome was anything but warm. Teague's take is simple: that attitude isn't just petty, it's financially damaging to the league. He made it clear he believes Clark deserves far better from both her peers and the league's leadership. NBA legend Rick Barry went even further. In a blunt and unflinching statement, Barry tore into Clark's critics, making it clear that the constant digs from certain WNBA players are rooted in nothing but jealousy and fear of her extraordinary talent. His words didn't tiptoe around the issue, they put the doubters in their place. Barry's defense is exactly the message every Caitlin Clark critic needs to hear, a reminder that she's earned every ounce of respect coming her way.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time. For
Barry's words struck a chord with fans and players alike, reminding everyone of Caitlin Clark's journey and the hurdles she's overcome. Hearing a legend like Barry publicly acknowledge the unfair treatment she's endured and take a stand against it was a powerful moment. It shined a spotlight on the jealousy that has too often fueled her critics and served as a reminder that true greatness, like Clark's, can intimidate those unwilling to accept it. His support only amplified her standing, making the respect she's earned more visible than ever. NBA great George Gervin soon added his voice to the chorus. The Iceman didn't hold back in confronting the disrespect Clark has faced, making it clear that her talent deserves admiration, not criticism. His statement sent ripples through the basketball world, delivering a clear message to every doubter: Caitlin Clark's greatness is undeniable, and even the legends know it. Gervin's passionate defense is the kind of endorsement that silences naysayers.
She bringing they flying private planes now. They weren't flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that.
Caitlin Clark has quickly built a strong grassroots following in Indianapolis, but when it comes to local adoration, she still can't touch the legendary figures who came before her. At the very top of that list stands Reggie Miller, the elite sharpshooter and fierce competitor who spent all 18 of his NBA seasons in a number 31 Pacers jersey. Given Clark's rise as the city's new basketball sensation, you might expect Miller to offer a warm welcome. Instead, he took a tougher approach, essentially saying that every rookie, no matter how talented, has to learn to handle adversity and prove themselves against fierce competition.
Jealousy, oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements, we're gonna go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen?
Reggie Miller came from the old school NBA, where physicality was part of the game's DNA. His perspective on hard fouls might not fully translate to today's era, but one thing is clear, Caitlin Clark is facing real challenges. This isn't just about competitiveness, she's dealing with outright hostility. No one expected WNBA veterans to roll out the red carpet for her, but the resistance she's encountered goes beyond the typical earn your spot mentality. At times, it feels like an effort to hold her back. Clark's journey is no longer just about gaining respect, it's about demanding fair treatment and standing tall against the odds. That's a sharp contrast to how Michael Jordan has approached the drama surrounding Clark, a difference we'll explore later. For now, it's worth looking at Vince Carter's perspective. Carter's legendary tenure as the face of Toronto basketball was anything but easy. His years as the Raptors' marquee player were packed with adversity that tested both his resilience and his game. So, when he sees the rookie hazing Clark has faced, he's not shocked. He understands that this kind of treatment comes with the territory, especially for rookies who arrive with her level of talent and popularity.
Earn your stripes, and remember this. I say this all the time. You come. This is not I say this. Understanding NIL is what it is,
right?
But when you go to the professional world and you're in competition against other professionals who are trying to feed their family,
mortgage
It'll
payments.
give you the business.
What?
Every time.
I gotta feed my family.
Yeah, they not about to let you look good. You're not about to look good.
Well, guess what? I need to make my name.
Now that Caitlin Clark is playing in a professional league, the stakes are dramatically higher than in her college days. As the league gains more exposure and the pressure mounts, everyone will be gunning for her. The level of competition she faces today is leagues beyond what she's encountered before. Charles Barkley has identified the heart of the Caitlin Clark saga. Healthy competition is one thing, but petty, malicious behavior is entirely different. There have even been moments when opponents have knocked Clark to the floor without any legitimate basketball reason. Some argue that players should appreciate Clark's talent rather than view her as an adversary. Barkley, however, points to a broader group responsible for fueling this tension beyond just the players themselves.
If they try, people believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pro.
It's hard to fault Charles Barkley for his frustration over what he sees as a clear injustice. The WNBA recognizes Caitlin Clark as a major asset, yet it falls short in protecting her on the court and promoting her as the league's future flagship star. Part of that hesitation comes from corporate caution, decision-makers preferring to wait and see how the season unfolds before fully committing to a strategy around Clark's meteoric rise. But there's another, more troubling factor. Some key media figures openly dislike Clark, which is simply unacceptable in a professional setting. On a recent episode of the Bill Simmons podcast, the outspoken sports media personality didn't hold back. Simmons praised Clark's extraordinary impact on basketball, spotlighting her record-shattering rookie season and the surge in viewership and fan engagement she's ignited. Caitlin Clark isn't just making waves, she's reshaping the game. But what Simmons said next truly caught listeners off guard. He drew a surprising comparison between Clark and some of the NBA's top young stars. Stay tuned, his words are bound to spark intense conversation.
Caitlin Clark a bigger under 30 star than any under 30 star in the NBA? I think she is.
Absolutely.
Too. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's a debate. I literally did not care about women's college basketball 10 years ago in any way, shape, or form. So I think some things have moved toward just the quality to play is more fun to.
Bill Simmons' bold assertion wasn't just a casual remark, it was a genuine recognition of Caitlin Clark's growing influence on the sport. By comparing her to the top under 30 NBA stars, he highlighted not only her individual talent but also the larger cultural shift she's helping to drive. Just 10 years ago, women's college basketball didn't command nearly the spotlight it enjoys today. Caitlin's talent and presence have been key forces pushing the sport forward. The fact that someone like Simmons, who openly admitted he wasn't invested in the women's game before, is now captivated says a lot. It shows how Clark's performance has shattered traditional boundaries, turning skeptics into believers and putting the women's game on the map like never before. Allen Iverson sees it too. In a recent interview, he praised Clark's unique skills and mindset, explaining why she's a true game changer for the league.
Man, shoot the blood out of the ball.
You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, you know, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road, she's going to only get better.
It's no surprise where Allen Iverson's praise for Caitlin Clark comes from. He's quick to credit her as an incredible offensive engine, a role he himself excelled at during his peak years. Both were thrust into the spotlight immediately, bearing the bulk of scoring responsibility for their teams right from the start. Iverson highlights the aggression required for that role, but what truly sets an all-time great offensive initiator apart is elite playmaking ability, and that's something Caitlin Clark naturally possesses. Even as the least experienced player on her team, players like Clark are floor raisers. Their presence elevates everyone around them through their gravity and unselfishness. Iverson carried a team with limited offensive talent all the way to the NBA Finals with his singular ability to score at will. It will be fascinating to see what Caitlin can achieve during her prime. Iverson believes she will only improve, learning to lift her team's performance to even greater heights. The key will be whether the Indiana Fever can build the right supporting cast around her to help her reach the bigger stages Iverson once did. Speaking of legends, Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, recently shared his perspective on the Caitlin Clark drama. Jordan's comments were both insightful and supportive, acknowledging the intense scrutiny Clark has faced this season. Drawing from his own experience handling pressure and media attention, Jordan offered valuable advice. Caitlin's got that fire, that drive that only the great ones have, Jordan said. But let's be real, some of the players in the league are targeting her for all the wrong reasons. They see her talent, her rise, and it's got them feeling threatened. What Caitlin needs to do is keep her head down, focus on her game, and show them what true greatness looks like. All the criticism, all the pettiness, she has to let it fuel her, not break her. The best way to answer them is by proving time and time again that she belongs at the top. Jordan's advice makes it clear he sees Caitlin Clark as a rising star destined to overcome the challenges and shine even brighter. There's something special about Caitlin Clark, something that resonates deeply with Michael Jordan, reminding him of his own battles with critics and doubters throughout his career. His message to her was one of resilience, urging Caitlin to rise above the drama and let her game speak louder than any surrounding noise. For Jordan to publicly address Caitlin in such a personal and supportive way speaks volumes about her potential and the impact she's already making on the sport. Steph Curry has also weighed in on Caitlin Clark, adding his voice to the chorus of praise. Fans and analysts have often compared their shooting forms. Both possess that lightning-fast release that leaves defenders stunned. But as Steph points out, their games are about much more than just a quick shot. To be like Steph, Curry says, you don't just need the skill to shoot, you need to perform, turn the game into a show for the crowd, and have more dimensions to your game than just shooting. You have to find ways to make your team better and influence the game even when the ball isn't in your hands. That unique blend of skills and showmanship is what sets Steph apart from other sharpshooters, and it's no surprise that people often ask him about Caitlin Clark. Steph's outspoken praise reflects the high regard he holds for her and the bright future he sees ahead.
From the range, the confidence, the flair, like she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that, it's at that level. If you really watch, like her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package, and her being the French breaking that record and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last.
Steph Curry represented the NBA in a landmark three-point shootout against the WNBA, delivering a thrilling and closely contested matchup that ended with Steph narrowly edging out the win. Now that NBA versus WNBA three-point shootouts have become a reality, Caitlin Clark might one day get the chance to go head-to-head with her idol. While she has declined to join the three-point contest so far, she remains open to the idea. As she put it, I know all of our fingers are crossed that she does. When looking for guidance or solace in the words of NBA legends, Caitlin would do well to listen to those whose resumes back up their opinions. Take former MVP and NBA champion Kevin Garnett, known as the Big Ticket, for his legendary toughness, work ethic, and bravado that helped him overcome countless obstacles over a 21-year career. Garnett's unique journey, entering the NBA straight out of high school and quickly becoming a force feared on both ends of the court, gives him a rare perspective on what it truly takes to become a basketball star.
Guess what? When you're in, when you got the bullseye on your back, when you in, it's gonna come with some shit. And nobody's hitting y'all with the step back in the house.
Kevin Garnett sees rough play and taunting as a normal part of a rookie's journey, a necessary stepping stone on the path to greatness. According to him, the best players prove their worth by enduring this challenge and building a winning mentality through it. Garnett believes Caitlin Clark should take the intense defensive attention as a sign of respect and simply go with the flow. While not all retired NBA players may share this view, the legend of Caitlin Clark continues to grow, especially in how basketball's biggest names talk about her. Since she began making waves and her team entered the playoff picture, more people have recognized her as the real deal. To borrow Shaquille O'Neal's words, game recognizes game. When certified masters of the sport lend their support, it carries far more weight than opinions from journalists who have never stepped on the court. These NBA legends were all rookies once themselves, so they understand Caitlin's immense potential for growth. They also recognize how pivotal her success could be for the future of women's basketball. Rest assured, some of the greatest players in NBA history are closely following Caitlin Clark's journey, cheering her on as she aims to rewrite record books and revolutionize the sport.